Welcome to the Off the Clock podcast. You are now tapped in. Today's guest is truly a leader and a change maker. Latonia Monroe, born in Springfield, Mass. Latonia grew up traveling the world as a daughter of a military family before returning home, where she graduated from Central High School, class of 98. She went on to earn her bachelor's in business administration from Our Lady of Elms College, and later a master's in science, nonprofit management, and philanthropy from Bay Path College, along with certificate in board governance and volunteerism. Latonia is the co-founder of two nonprofits, Parent Village Incorporated and Vital Center Incorporated, and has advised several other nonprofit startups. She's currently serving as a director of American Corps and teacher as an adjunct professor at both Springfield College and Worcester State University. Her commitment to servicing is unmatched. She has volunteered countless hours mentoring youth, creating computer learning centers, and launching summer programs. She also serves as an elect member of the Springfield School Committee, vice chair of the Mass Association of School Committees Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, and sits on the Racial Imbalance Advisory Council for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Beyond that, she chairs Parent Village Incorporated and is on the board of the Young Scholars Fund and Springfield's Partners for Community Action. Latonia is also a proud wife to a Pastor Madi Naylor Sr. and the mother of four. She has been honored as a Business West 40 Under 40 leader and Massachusetts Commonwealth Unsung Heronian. Please welcome Latonia Naylor.
I'm trying to give again wealth, you trying to give again hell. Like we ain't been chained before they put us in a cell. I ain't moody, I'm on the move, trust me, I ain't trying to lose. Again, I'm just trying to win, put these chickens in a coop, stack these Benjis to the roof, make sure my kids is cool, make sure my bitch is cute while she cooking up my food. Stack these Benjis to the roof, make sure my kids is cool, make sure my bitch is cute while she cooking up my food. Take my time with all this shit. Got no time for all these ticks. Yeah, I'm flyer than your prince. I'm different though.
Hey, what's going on, family?
Hey, what's up?
So beautiful, like always.
You.
Absolutely. Huh. Balenciagas?
No, these are
Madden?
Steve Madden's.
Oh, okay.
Nice and comfy.
Nice, rich money.
Trying to get there.
Yeah. So how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm well. I'm just doing everything one day at a time,
Yeah.
you know.
You looking young.
Thank you. I told my kids I'm 32
Right.
until I'm not.
Right. Absolutely. Before we get started, I do want to say something I don't think I got to say to you ever since this event happened. So some years back, I was going through a very, very dark time. And I believe it was you who reached out. If it wasn't you, it was either your mom or your sister. But I believe it came from you. Um, and I appreciate you guys for reaching out to me. And I said I was going through a dark time, and I came over. You guys had me come over, and y'all prayed for me.
Yes.
And
Don't get me started. I'm trying not to be in here
I
crying.
had to say it, and this is the perfect time for me to say it. I never forgot that moment, and I always love y'all for that moment, and I appreciate y'all for that moment.
Thank you.
That moment was very, very special to me, and I always hold it. So just know it was never forgotten. I never said thank you. I just got prayed for, and I just went on my way.
You did. Just kept going. I was like, oh my God, what is he doing now? So that is you. I'm seriously. One thing I've learned is the older I get, the more I cry. So I don't know what it is.
Because you've made it. Where we come from, it wasn't easy.
True.
The road wasn't easy. Our role models weren't in place. We had to fight through a lot.
True.
Be who we are and be these amazing parents to our kids.
Absolutely.
So we've made it through. And so I feel you, I definitely feel you.
Absolutely. All of it is true. At the end of the day, sometimes our kids will never understand the things that we've been through, and it made us who we are. I was listening to getting ready for a speaker's reel that one of my videographers working on for me, and it was a statement that I said that I forgot that I said. And I said, "Do not allow your trauma to be a liability in your life.
Ooh,
Don't let it be a liability anymore." And a lot of times we allow the things we've been through to be a setback instead of a setup for whatever is next that God has for us. And when we're able to transform that
yeah,
into, take that passion and say, you know what, I'm not going to allow this thing to be the thing that holds me down, but this is going to be the thing that catapults me into the next thing.
absolutely.
So I feel like that's what we've been doing.
That's what so let me say this. I've had like a front row seat to your life,
Yeah.
for a very long time. And you've always been, in my eyes, a role model, a leader, a go-getter, a level-headed woman,
Thank
a strong woman. You were like maybe 3, 4 years older than me, but you were 15 years older than me, you know? And we always looked at you like she got it all, like
Yeah.
she's her smile is always gonna be that
You
smile.
always say that.
That smile is just light and it's just like you've always been that since we were little kids.
Mhm.
So for those who don't know, we are family by family.
Yes, we are.
And I've always like looked at you like, man, there's nothing that ever defeats this woman. And as a kid, like this is nothing new. Like y'all might have just met this woman, but this is nothing new. So I want to ask you because
Yeah.
this is like we've always been close, but just not we haven't had many deep conversations.
True.
You know, where from a little girl, where did that come from?
That is deep. That's probably the first time anybody has ever asked me that.
Not to cut you off. Every time I do an interview, somebody says that. I
Rick,
think I'm doing good.
you
No,
are you
no.
doing good. I've been watching some of your episodes, and I would say that it was, first of all, the grace of God, like, that definitely. I remember about 7, 8 years ago now, my mom sitting down and saying to me, "You know why you are who you are?" And I'm like,
Key.
"What, mom? It's you," because moms always wanna take credit for everything. And she said, "No, it's because when you were born, I told the Lord that he could have you, and I wanted him to take you and whatever it is that he wanted to do with you, that's what I wanted for you." And I never knew that. That this was 7 years ago that I found out this journey I've been on was always ordained by God, and so I'm not being cheesy or facetious when I say that. I really believe it was God's hand on my life, and I remember, about 7 years ago, again, having a conversation because one of my cousins passed away, and we were chatting with his mom, and I was telling her how I always thought it was ugly growing up because guys would never try to talk to me, and it was just like she's the black sheep, like nobody pays her any attention. And I didn't know until around 7 or 8 years ago when I saw my cousin. He came out of, you know, the place that people go when they do stuff they're not
On,
supposed to do.
the special college.
Yes, he went to the special college, the school of hard knocks. And so he came out, we saw each other in the mall, and he was like, "You're so beautiful," and da 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 da. And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "I never used to think that." He's like, "That's because I told them guys," and he didn't use that word,
Yep, 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 yep.
but he had another word that he used, an explicit term, that they better not talk to you. They better leave you alone. You're a smart girl. God's hand is on your life, and they better not mess you up. And they never did. Like even when he would go on his mini vacations,
Yep.
nobody would talk to me. And so even as a little girl, yes, God's hand has been on my life, and I'm thankful
Yeah.
that He's always had angels around me that say, "I know it was hard, but you can get where you need to be
Right.
because we gonna make sure you okay."
Absolutely. It's oh man, we finna go take it to a whole nother ride because that's something that's what your mom said to you, as a baby. It's so wild that you said that because my son went through his complications.
Mhm.
And when he was going through his complications, I talked to God. I dropped to my knees. I said, listen, He's not mine. If you want him, take him,
Yeah.
And when I did that, like, I felt so good that I gave my son up.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so wild. And after that, his health and everything just reversed, and he became like this little special boy. And just, so not for your mom to say that over it,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh wow, that's a deep connection right there.
Yes.
So where were you born?
I was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. Ironically, my dad was in the military, so we did travel a lot, but we were all able to be born in Springfield, which is
Okay,
very
well, then,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, all of us, as far as I know. I don't remember any of us not being born there. And it's it was different being a child who's a military brat, as they call us, traveling around the country, traveling around the world, getting to live in different cultures. You start to have an appreciation for life and people from a different place.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need somebody to teach me a training on why people are important because I got the ability to live around so many people and their foods and all the things. So I'm thankful.
Yeah, okay, so that explains a lot
Yeah.
because you definitely came back to Springfield with a different mentality. Like, if you seen something nobody else saw.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, when in Germany specifically, I went to school in Germany.
You
I went to school for about a year in Germany and learned how to speak a little bit of German and all of that stuff.
At what age was this?
I was in first grade, kindergarten. No, I had already been on. So I was first grade into second grade,
Okay.
and I remembered, it was just different. Just even going to school, I would have to take an hour and a half or so bus to get to school on the traveling bus, and
Yeah.
you're in an environment with all these people that don't look like you, and you're learning the culture and the language and all the things, and it was, watching all of the crosses on the highway and learning about the history of the Holocaust and things like that when I was young.
Wow.
So it was a very early appreciation for history and people because I learned about that when I was in Germany, so I was surprised
Yeah.
being home where we got Black history and we gotta take electives in order to learn about the history when they're giving it out freely over there.
Wow. So, man, you making me wanna jump around but I have a
Sorry, not sorry, as my kids.
I have a lot of questions around that because you've even from a little girl, I've like I said, I had a front row seat of watching you, and you always move differently, and it was always based on focus and a lot of education, and I now that you tell me your story, it's like, oh, that's why she was always into the books and always
Yeah.
educated and always speaking education and empowering. It's been that for since I can remember you.
It was and so my nana had a big hand in that. My nana, God rest her soul,
Yes.
I was just looking at her picture the other day from when I was running my first campaign for school committee, and she was at the table, the volunteer table. She was right next to me, like, ready to go, We didn't know that she was only gonna be with us for a few more weeks at that time, but my nana didn't get a chance to go to high school. She didn't get a chance to graduate. So when we were kids, my nana was like, out the kitchen, out of this, out of that, like, go get in the books. So I didn't have a choice because it was the first thing she expected. And so getting the A's, getting the B's weren't an option.
I know.
A's all day,
Yeah.
AP classes, honors classes, and going to college, it wasn't an option. So, like, I had to figure out how to get there because nobody before me went.
Right.
So I had to figure it out, but I was determined because my nana was like, "This is what I expected." And then when I went to have my kids, when I got married young, she was like, "You're never gonna get your master's degree because you have all these kids." I'm like, "I'm gonna get my master's degree."
Yeah.
And so when I finally got my master's degree, I think that was her proudest moment because she wanted one of her grandkids. Her kids didn't get master's degrees.
Right.
She wanted one of her grandkids to have a master's degree before she left this earth, and she got to see that. So,
Absolutely. Right.
and now there's multiple of us that have master's degrees, but it was like paving the way to say there's a different way for us. We don't have to be whatever we were born into or the neighborhoods that we were born into. We don't have to be a product of that.
Yeah. How did you so even though you had Nana, and how did you navigate? Because I'm watching you, all right? You might not seen it, but I was always observant
Yeah.
anyway. Like, why is that person like that, or why is this person doing that? And I was always observant, and it was always, like I said, education and focus for you. But we were running wild,
Yeah.
we were running wild.
I was running wild too. Y'all just didn't know because I had enough to like not let y'all see that.
Okay.
I didn't want y'all to see that part of me. So anything that I did, y'all didn't know about.
Right.
But I still had a line I wouldn't cross
Yes. Yeah.
because of what I saw, what I was exposed to. So there was some things that y'all were never exposed to.
Right. Right.
And I was exposed to. So I'm like, I'm not drinking. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because I see where it takes people and I don't want to go there. Like
Yeah.
I see that there were people that I looked up to who I passed early.
Very.
25 years old, 30 years old. And I'm like, you're 20 years older than me. And now I'm past you in life. And not as a disrespectful thing, but like from staying focused and consistent.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned. And I felt like maybe in some way, like listening to you, like you all seeing that consistency saying, oh, there's a different way. You don't have to go that way. Let's be consistent. Let's put our hands and our energy towards something positive instead of running around being a knucklehead.
Right. 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 Because we was definitely knuckleheads, So thank God for you not showing us any other way. So speaking of that, can we talk about a major incident in your life?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can ask me anything. I'm an open book.
Right. So, for me, looking outside, and it was like that day was just like shaken up because I believe that might have been the first time anyone close to us has gotten shot. So when I heard it as a little kid, I'm like, her? Like what? Like ain't no way. Like what is happening? What just happened? So what was that like for you getting shot at what, 16, 17?
I was 16. I was
16 is
16, December 23rd, 1996.
Yeah.
7:00 at night.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because, I was looking at your one of your throwbacks, I guess, of you rapping and stuff. And right, this is what we did because it was creative channel. Right. We grew up in a culture that if you wanted to find a way to tell your story, it was through rapping.
Yes.
And now they have the spoken word and all that, but we didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
So it was like I was in a studio, I was doing what I do, and I left the studio with one of my friends, and some guys tried to jump him, and next thing I know, bullets going off, and I'm on the ground. I don't even know I'm shot.
Wow.
I'm just in pain. I'm just burning on the inside. Like I'm feeling just a pain I never felt before.
Yeah.
And I remember screaming out, Lord, I'm not fit to live and I'm not fit to die. And I don't even know where that came from. Like, who says it at 16?
Right.
But that's what I said.
Yeah.
And it was like I was just knowing like this is it. And but it wasn't. It wasn't it. I got down to the hospital. My grandmother was there.
Yeah.
Where she had an all black outfit on and she was praying because that's all she ever did. So I had my nana, which was my mom side, who was all about the education, and then I had my grandmother on my dad's side who was all about God. Everything was God, 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 Jesus, 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 everything, all day. And so she was praying and she said the Lord told her to pray for me all day. And the Lord sent her to the hospital. And she didn't know why she was there. She walked there and the ambulance was pulling up and they opened up the door and I was there.
What?
And that was like, it was this moment of like, when I saw her, I was groggy. I didn't know if I was dreaming or whatever. But when I came out of it, I'm like, I got shot. Like, this is a real thing. I got shot in the chest with a 38.
Yeah.
It hit my rib cage and came out.
Wow.
That was just a miracle.
Yes.
So it was just this moment in my life, and I went through a horrible season. That was a very dark time in my life, and I forgot how bad it was until one of my friends, we spoke years, decades later, and he was like, you were just in a dark place.
Yeah.
Like, God spared your life, but you still couldn't wrap your mind around what happened. It was like this level of depression that I went into. And I thank God that I had people around me that helped me pull me out of it.
Yeah.
But there's also the aspect of learning about the injustices of the system. Like, even the guy that they pulled out and said shot me, I knew he didn't shoot me because he didn't even fit. Like, I remembered certain things and I could see the guy's face a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's this guy. And I'm like, it's not him.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I had to testify on behalf of the person that they pulled that they wrongly accused
Oh, wow.
to say, this is not him. This is not who I identified. Yeah. And it was like, there was all these things happening over that year. Yes, I'm thankful that I'm here physically, but mentally, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I was very withdrawn. And it took me years. Even still now, I deal with the trauma of like, you don't get over somebody trying to kill you.
No, you
Like,
don't, man, don't.
you could try,
Yeah, yeah.
but you're always looking for the exit and you're always thinking about, is somebody going to do it again?
Yeah.
Even when you're supposed to feel safe. And I think that sparked a lot of the other things that I did in life around how do I create safe spaces for people.
Well,
The nonprofit that I co-founded, like, why is it important to me to focus on trauma and not just help a person because they're low income? Like, no, I want to help you with your trauma.
right.
Because even if I teach you how to read and even if I teach you the financial aspect, if your trauma is unhinged,
Thanks.
you're never going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're always going to mess up and self-sabotage because your mindset is off.
Right.
So dealing with it from there and going to counseling and therapy, something we just didn't do in our culture.
Absolutely.
But I did it because I'm like, work. I got some work to do because I don't know why I'm in this place and it's not enough to pray at night. Like, I need more than prayer.
Yeah.
And I knew that and I understood that.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Absolutely. I told somebody, at my job, like, when you work on these things, it's not a overnight fix. It's not a couple years fix. This is a lifelong journeys, and you have to stick to it and understand that it's going to be a journey to the end. And that's something
Right.
you just have to work on every day. So when you got out of that funk after you got, shot, what was like, what was your light after that saying like, okay, this, I think this is why this happened. And thank you, God, for, sparing me. And then this is my calling now.
It wasn't that simple.
Okay.
I was young.
Yeah.
As you remember, I was young when I got into the church and everything like that. But it was like I was warned because I knew God spared me, but I didn't know if he really existed. Like, it was this weird time that I went through. Like, God, are you really real? Because why'd you let all these things happen to me? And, it wasn't just the shooting. It was all the other trauma that I went through even before the shooting, right? And I'm like, why would you let me go through all of that if you're a God? But then yet you spared me. Why did you spare me? So I could go through more? It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
you're under a this roller coaster. So it took me some time to really understand the sovereignty of God. And like, he can be all these things and still be God, even if you don't understand how or why. And it wasn't until I was in school, I was in college, and we had to do history, and I decided to take Old Testament because I was at a Catholic college. So Old Testament counted as an instrument. And I was in a class and the teacher was breaking down something, and it was in that moment that I finally understood when he was talking about Abraham bringing his son to sacrifice, and he's just like, he knew he was coming back because he said, we'll be back. And I was like, oh my God, like, that was so deep for me. Like, he said, we'll be back.
Yeah.
But yet God told him to sacrifice his son. There is the dynamic again. So it was like, I don't know how that was a thing, but that was the moment. And this is 3 years after I got shot that I finally said, Lord, I don't have a mind to serve you. I don't even know if I believe you, but if you fix my mind, I will do whatever you ask me to do. And I woke up and wanted to go to church, and I never not wanted to go up to that. It was just like, but I think it's important for people to know about me. It's not about the church. It's not about the religion. It's about the relationship. And I was always seeking to know the one who created me and like, what is your purpose for me? How do I fall in line with this thing called life and what you have already ordained for me? And everything didn't fall in place like all gravy.
It won't.
But it fell in place.
Yeah.
And I understood every struggle was like, okay, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
Every struggle, I'm ready for whatever it's going to take to get me to the next level. If this is what I got to do, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because I know there's more.
Right.
And it's always been more.
Yes, it has. Yeah, I did your intro, and I'm just like, whew, I feel like I'm rapping again, saying all of these different things, and what my own journey, and as I'm hearing what your journey as well, is that it is just that it's our journey,
Yeah.
and no one's been through your journey, and your journey. He gave us our journey for a reason, because we were chosen to handle that journey. And that's something hard to deal with. It's a battle to deal with, when you have to keep going through it and relearning. And he's like your parent. He'll keep spanking you if he needs to,
Well,
but he will talk to you the right way as well.
absolutely.
And that's what I love about the journey. Um, Education
Mm-hmm.
has been always like number one in your life. What's one of your proudest moments? I can't even imagine it being one.
You're right. It's a lot of moments for me, but I would say the biggest moment for me in my educational journey wasn't even about me. It was about my husband.
Mm.
And so my husband didn't go to college. He took some classes. He did some seminary programs and certificate programs and stuff, but he didn't go the traditional route of education. And he's a barber. He was
Mhm.
gonna be self-employed. And I knew I needed to get my master's because my nana had already told me I need to get my master's. I didn't know how that was gonna happen, but miraculously, one day I woke up and I'm going back to school. I'm leaving this job, I'm leaving corporate. God's calling me to go into the nonprofit world. And I was on my internet. All of a sudden, a program popped up at BayPath, and I ended up signing up for it. Had 2 weeks to get everything in, and I don't know, this the speed of God was on my hands, and I was able to get everything in. And I go to class and I go back to my program and I'm doing good. I'm like, because you know me, I've got to be 110%. People are like, how are you? You have 4 kids and you're working full time
Yeah.
and you go to church. How are you getting A's? And because I am, because I'm not, I didn't do this for nothing. We're going to get A's. And I made it through my second to the last class and I was done. I was over it. I was trying to do everything. I was trying to cook, clean, do all the things because in my mind, that's what women were supposed to do. You were supposed to take care of your husband, supposed to take care of the kids, all the things. And I didn't know that I was supposed to ask for help.
Mm.
And so I didn't. And I sat in the couch and I sat in the couch. 3 days go by. My husband's like, don't you have homework to do? And I'm like, I quit. That's like I'm all set. I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm gonna watch TV and I'm gonna be done.
I bet it felt new until you.
Yeah, it did. He said, "Oh no." He turned the TV off. He said, "We are not quitters in this family. You worked too hard. You've done too much. What kind of example are you setting for the kids?" And I'm like, "What? I quit." That's all I could say is I quit. And he said, "What do you need from me?" And I said, "I can't." I just started crying. "I can't do this. I am supposed to do all these things." He's like, "No, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you. What do you want me to do? What do you need me to do?" And I told him, and he said, "Everything with the kids. Don't worry about no doctor's appointment, cleaning, cooking, nothing. I'm going to take care of it until you're done."
Mm.
He took care of everything
Yeah.
for the next 2.5 months. I was able to graduate, get my degree, and I wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for him saying, "Turn the TV off.
Yeah.
We are not quitters. Get back on. You can do it."
Yeah.
And I did. I
Absolutely.
did. And so that is my proudest moment.
Yeah.
Not just that I finished, but that I was humble enough to ask for help. And I was willing to allow him to help me the way that he needed to help me to get it done. And I'm not afraid to give him that credit,
Yeah.
because he could have been like, "Oh, well,
Right.
you're right. You shouldn't be doing this or whatever. Who does this? You got 4 kids. Like, who does this stuff?" But
Absolutely.
I was determined, and it was a proud moment for me to make my Nana proud.
Mm. Absolutely. Amen to that. Amen to your husband for that too.
Yeah.
That's a very important thing, to be in a relationship with someone who allows you to be you,
Yeah,
and at the same time respect you and help you. You know,
absolutely.
women don't have to be the helpers all the time.
Exactly.
Man could be a helper as well. Whoever's has those goals, and back and forth. I want to do this. Help me when it's my time.
Mhm.
Let's get you here first, and it really is a 50-50.
It's
It's a
supposed
100-100 relationship.
It is, and it's supposed to be complementary. I remember a very wise marriage coach said, "Your marriage is supposed to be like a hand in a glove, and you're supposed to complement one another, not compete with one another, not, it's supposed to be complementary. So like wherever I slack, he shouldn't, or vice versa. And we're willing to, like you say, both give 100%. And sometimes it might not look like 100%,
Right.
but it's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all I got to give today. And we've been married for 25 years almost, and it's been a ride,
Yeah.
but I didn't really understand marriage until we were almost 10 years married. It took me like that long to really get it. And it was, again, bringing somebody else into the relationship. We had a couple that was married for 43 years at the time, and they're walking, holding hands and stuff. And I'm like, we need to talk to them. They're holding hands. We've been together for 10 years. I don't want to hold your hand, like all the things. Because when you have a small family, it's always going, 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 going. When do you have time for one another, And so when you talk about supporting one another's dreams and journey, it was just like, I didn't even know what his dreams were.
Yeah.
He didn't know what my dreams were. How can I support you in your dream if I don't know what it is, and
And
vice
this is about
versa?
10 years in.
This is 10 years in.
So that's very important for people to understand,
Right.
you love someone and you want to be with someone for the rest of your life and y'all do get married, but after that marriage is still another level of a journey that
Whole nother
that you guys have to go through.
And it doesn't end. It doesn't end. Like we used to hear this thing like, oh, there's the 1 year, and then there's 5 years, and there's 7 years, and like there's these certain years in the life of your relationship where you're gonna go through all kind of chaos. And we're looking back like, wow, they're right.
Yeah.
That does happen. So what do we do now? Then now we're about to hit 13 and this and that. And like, how do we get through that one? And it was intentional work. Like, I'm not afraid to admit it. It was very intentional. It was even going to marriage therapy, like whatever it takes
Yeah.
to make this work, we're gonna do. And again, I go back to the fact that it's not about religion, because there's a lot of people that will say, we don't go to counselors, or we don't do. No, yes, we do.
How did you get your husband to go to marriage therapy? Because I feel like as a man,
So
that's probably gonna be one of the hardest things to do.
that is such a good question. So first of all, we tried a few times and it didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work. I would be completely transparent about that. We got to a very hard place in our relationship, and it wasn't nothing major. It was no cheating or anything like that. It was just like pressure of life.
Understood.
It was just that kind of thing. And we were in a very bad place, just toxic towards each other. And it was like, this ain't gonna work if we keep it up like this. We need help. And he said, well, if you can find me a Black Christian counselor that's a man. So he gave me a very
Specific.
specific list. So I said, well, Lord, if you ordain this relationship, I need to find somebody. And I put it in and I did my research and I found somebody.
Okay.
And they were not too far away from us. So we reached out, went and met with the person. He immediately felt comfortable with the person. Because his thing was, he didn't want somebody trying to teach him principles that weren't in alignment with our values. Because a lot of times that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
People don't believe in God and they're teaching you to do stuff that's contrary to the word. And you're not going to go along with that. That's not going to benefit you. And so he was very keen on that. And he wanted a man because he wanted to know that a man could understand what he was dealing with as a man. Like, what is his perspective? And I'm willing, I'm like humble, like whatever. Like, I deal with whoever you put in front of me. We gonna work it out, because I've always been that kind of a person.
Yeah.
And so we did, and it was a blessing. And then from there, we went to marriage retreats and just being intentional. We ended up in Phoenix at a marriage retreat. Like, didn't know anybody. We just showed up, like, hi, we wanna know what y'all teaching,
Right.
kind of thing. And we made friends. We got a bunch of friends down in Phoenix now. I got invited to a birthday party recently.
Those are big steps, man. And it takes a lot for even like two people. So we all coming from where we come from, dealt with trauma. And it's hard for two people in a relationship who have trauma to actually open themselves up to do those certain things. So that's a That's a big step to even
It
want to
was.
go and to even want to put that effort in because, sometimes trauma makes you not want to even try, you know?
You know what he said to me? And at first when he told me this, I got offended. But it took me years to grow into this. He said, "I don't believe in this falling in love stuff." He said, "I believe you choose to love." And I was like, "Hmm, what? What do you mean you choose to?" Like, women will understand what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean? Like, because you see the romance on TV and all the things. He said, "No, love is a choice." He said, "And I'm choosing to love you every day for the rest of our lives."
Felt.
And I was like I said, I wasn't hearing that. I'm like, I want to hear you. I swept you on the feet. Like, that's
You
what I
better
want to
be
hear.
falling.
And all that stuff. And then it took maybe 4 or 5 years, and it finally hit me.
Mm,
He's not going anywhere
yeah,
because a choice. Once you make up your mind,
yeah.
you know, it doesn't matter the season, the
Right,
temperament, how you feel about it.
right.
Because some days you don't like each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm still choosing to love you even though I don't like you
Yeah.
today.
Can we clap that up?
Right. So it was profound and it helped us a lot because even then when he would go through things, you always going through life. Different challenges, and sometimes I'm going through stuff, sometimes he's going through stuff, but we're going through stuff because it affects both of us. And it helped me to have a really deep appreciation for him because I understood the level of love that he had in the way that he loved. And so I appreciate it. So I'm like, I have to reciprocate that.
Absolutely.
You know, I can't be emotional or
Right.
just gonna tell you what to do anyways, because here I am, we just wanna talk, because just the things we did.
Yeah.
That's what we saw. We thought
Right.
women was supposed to yell at the man because he didn't do something, and he just supposed to listen, and he better not hit you, because if he hits you, you're gonna get your cousin, and that's what people did. I don't want that. We weren't gonna have that.
I feel you. Because all of the stuff that we saw, we
Yeah.
do not want.
We did not want that.
So if you bringing that to the relationship and I chose you, then we have to work on that because that's not a piece of what I want to show my kids.
Mhm.
And it's not a piece that I want to deal with anymore
Mm-mm.
because I've dealt with that. So we have to figure something new out and we have to just keep figuring it out. So that's why I said, even to let people know that you guys took those steps. I know it's going to be some couples or a wife or a husband watching this and going to say, okay, that kind of touched me. So maybe I need to take that step with my wife or my husband. So
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I know it's like a cheesy thing that people say sometimes, if you wanna do something different, then you gotta do it a different way. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting, a different result, and we know that's insanity, but then there's another level to it. It's just like, we wanna be in a different atmosphere from what we were raised in. Like, there's places in this country where people don't have to lock their doors. There's places in this country where people are working together and putting their resources, excuse me, together. There's places where marriages are happy and thriving. Like, why can't we have that now where we are? Why can't we create that? And that was the mindset. Like, I don't have to be what I saw. I can create something different.
Right.
And it's gonna be hard because it has to be, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah. Especially from where we at and where we come from. So let me ask you this: with the way your mentality is with that, is your husband's the same way, or was it the same way?
It was not. I mean, it was in the sense of we both wanted to make sure we had a strong relationship. We both wanted to make sure we raised our kids in a way that was filled with values and having a moral compass and being productive people in society. Like, that stuff we definitely agreed on. But how we do it, we did not agree on. That was like night and day from the way he was raised, the way I was raised, and a lot of ways I wasn't raised because I kinda raised myself in a lot of ways. So there were
You were
things.
mama.
I was. Everybody, I'm like telling everybody what to do. I'm telling everybody what to do because that's just what Imma do. And it took even going into marriage to sit that down because you wanna tell your husband what to do and you wanna be the mother over everything. It was like, no, sit down."
Right.
Which is why I ended up the way I did with the master's situation because I was trying to mommy everything, and it's like, "Girl, sit down. You're the mom.
Yeah.
You the wife. Be the wife."
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Shout out, like, once again, shout out to him for humbling you in a graceful way to let you know that, hey, I'm here. I got you. Because not a lot of people had you. It was just, you had your grandmother and things of that such, but Tonya was, she was out there doing what she had to do for her, and it was always seen. So
Thank
for
you.
you to have that break and just say, okay, let me focus on this. I don't have to mommy everything right now.
Right.
That's a big deal for you.
I appreciate you saying that because I think when you're in it, you never really can see it.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of things I didn't see because I was just always zeroed in until like this is the goal.
Yeah.
And even now, some of my friends that I grew up with will say, "Girl, I knew you was gonna be doing this and that because you were always doing that. So you were always advocating for people, and you was always standing up to the teachers." And I did.
Yeah. For some reason, where we come from again, all right, we don't praise the winners for winning. We praise the losers for losing.
Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate coming from where we come from. Like, we have the big party for the cousin who got out of prison for doing 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But, the kid who just graduated, yeah, we have a little party and then it's like, okay, but it's like they get more attention for doing the negative thing
You're true.
and for the positive thing. And that's why I always said, like, we over here being super knuckleheads, but she's over here graduating. I think I might have seen your report card one day and I was like, what is this? Is this a different language, straight A's? Like, why is it all A's? What happened?
I couldn't get beat. But you know what? Let me say this like real, like especially for people who are listening. Like that was good, but it also was it was not residue, but it was a consequence of my trauma because I didn't want to fail. I was afraid of failing because I was afraid of what it would look like if I failed or I wasn't good enough. I always had to be the best. I always had to do the best. And that's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And perfectionism is dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Because people commit suicide because of perfectionism. It's just not the way it needs to be, and they're not happy, and they're not settled, and they go into depression because it's not perfect. So I had to. I often will say I'm a recovering perfectionist. Because I have gotten to a place where it's like it's about excellence, not perfection.
I like
Where however I can operate the best I can at this level, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be okay if it's not perfect because there's a lesson to be learned in the imperfection, right? What did I learn from that? Now let me continue to move forward. But my kids are the ones that helped me with that because they were like, "Mom, calm down. It's not that serious." You know how they have this slang that they talk or whatever. Like, "Mom, it's not that serious." Like,
And once you see how they react, it's like you gotta kind of look in the mirrors. Okay, I might be doing something a little too much. And even for my son, like, I want him to do certain things a certain way and in his own way. Like, I'm observant enough to see, like, okay, he might not be interested in doing that. So let me pipe down a little bit and let him, find his own journey. Yeah, absolutely. So,
that's the best thing you can do. I mean, your children are always gonna do something that you didn't expect, and they're always gonna not do something you expect, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's like that's the nature of it, but I think the humility and knowing you done the best you could and taught them the best you could, whatever way that you could, it's like, you know what? Now it's on you.
Yep.
Now you gotta make the decisions, you gotta do what you gotta do, and it's been learning for me because now I have 2 adult children, and I'm like, one's getting married, one is,
Yeah.
over 21 now, and
That's it.
it's like, how in the world are you gonna try to control that? Like,
Yeah.
they're adults, let them live.
Yeah.
They gotta make the mistakes. They
Right.
gotta learn things the way they're gonna learn it.
Yep. I mean, even for my oldest daughter, if she's watching this, she cursed me out one day and she let me have it. And I'm like, you still don't know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you figure it out because it seems like I'm at the point where I did as much as I could. I'm always gonna be there, but it's time for you to start your own journey and figure it out. And,
Absolutely.
daddy always gonna be there, but go ahead and, learn your way. And she's doing a great job. She's married,
Jeez,
into church, she's working, she's living with her husband and they doing their thing. So
man.
very proud of her. Yeah. So,
Congratulations, Dad.
whew, yeah.
One down.
Say that. Absolutely. So, let's get into the business a little.
Yes.
Um, whew,
First of all, you probably asked me more. I think I let you get away with asking me a lot more personal stuff than most
I
people.
know I did. I know I did. I know I
You
did.
definitely
That's
slipped
why I set it up
by.
with the prayer and the thank you at first.
Yes. You took the guard down. I saw what you was doing. But no, real talk. As you start to think about the business, it all came from all of the things. Like some people, even when they read my book and stuff like that, they're like, I want to know how to start a business. You're gonna learn.
Yeah.
But if you don't get the other stuff first, your business not gonna last.
Right. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, all of these business owners and people who are into business and people who are doing things, it was the journey.
Right.
It was, it was the upbringing. It was everything that we learned from, being a kid and, waking up and realizing this and just that whole journey makes you
Right.
who you are. So, even for myself, like people watch my journey and or didn't watch my journey and they meet me and it's like, how? And I'm like, you would have to know the story. Like you would have to know the journey. And my journey is like, oh, look at you, like how, like I want to be on your level and I want to be on their level, but everyone has their journey. And I'm noted I'm learning to accept my journey for, me. And
Yeah.
whatever God has for me is for me. And whatever he doesn't have for me, I'm okay with that. But I'm basking in my journey. So when it comes to people looking from the outside in,
Yeah.
they judge you just off of what they see,
Absolutely.
but they don't know. I always love that picture of the iceberg where it's just the tip of the iceberg people
Right.
see above the ocean, and but underneath it's just, this whole big story that's
Absolutely.
under there. And that's what makes you who you are in your business. And it's something that's you can't teach those type of values. You could teach a lot of other things. It's always like even for me, like being on the job that I am, I didn't learn this job through the books. I learned this job through my journey, and God led me to that job. So, but you got the books and the journey. I wish I had the. I look back like, man, I wish I went to school. I wish I went did this. Like, I just did the journey.
Can you say that again? Because I'm telling you, the number of entrepreneurs that I know that are in your 20s, quitting school, dropping out of
No,
school.
no, that is
I'm like, just finish, just get the
no,
degree.
stay in school. And that's not even just a saying like people used to say, just stay in school. No, I wish you would have told me why I need to stay in school because school is the education that you definitely need. And like for you to have the journey that you had, but the education to go along with it is so important. And it's so
Different.
it makes a big difference from the way you conduct yourself, to just the knowledge you have, being able to speak with certain people. It's
Absolutely.
everything. And I'm like trying to relearn on my own, like I always hated school. So, and I feel like if I did go to school, I would definitely be a billionaire right now.
So let me just say this. That was part of the reason why I took the journey I did with my business. Like, even when I wrote my book, I didn't write a book this big.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to think about what did I learn in college
Mhm.
and what did I still have to figure out because college didn't teach me everything.
Right.
And I need to fill the gap and I need to say it in a way that anybody can
Not to
pick it up.
cut you off.
Go ahead.
That's your next book. Fill the gap. That is it right there. Okay. Sorry. Keep.
Oh, I like that. Fill the gap. That might be it.
That's it.
Because I have the first title, but I'm like, oh, I like that.
Yes. There we go. That's it. That is it.
I like that.
Oh, that's the bestseller right there.
Yes.
Fill the gap.
Fill the gap. I like it. So that's gonna be it. The mission rich leader. Fill the gap.
Mm,
Okay.
that's it.
I got it. See, it was
Oh,
here.
shit.
It was here first.
Yes. That's yes.
So filling the gap meant that I had to really look at it from who I want to get this information to and walk backwards as to how I present it so that they can receive it. And part of it was like, you have to know my story, but it's not just my story, right? My story isn't the end all be all of why things worked the way that it did. It was the frameworks that I also put in place in addition to what I went through.
Mhm.
And so in my book, I teach people, how to transform their passion, but I don't just say, oh, here's a passion, go ahead and make money off of it.
Right.
Because you can't just make money off any passion. Like, how do you identify what is the thing that really drives you, that also can be profitable to you,
Yeah.
that also can have sustainability because you care about it just that much, because of the things you're going to go through that are going to cause you to want to quit, then you can't.
Yeah.
Right? Because I go through these seasons where I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yes. Yep.
Why can't I should just go work for somebody, because this is a lot.
All right.
But then I hit another moment and I'm like, man, I would have never made it here if I didn't go through that.
Yeah.
But you're right, having the books and everything allowed me to see it that way. So I created an academy that is much easier than going to school for a master's degree, but still gives you the depth of knowledge and allows you to really unpack what it means to write your grants, what it means to write your business plans, how to apply for 501c3 status or get your LLC, all the things. How do you know how to do it? Not pay somebody else
Right.
or arm and a leg to do it for you, but teaching people how to do it. Because I'm an educator at heart. Education is important to me because I want to share it. And it's not just about pre-K through 12
Yeah.
or even higher education. It's also about just the day-to-day knowledge, right?
Yeah.
How do you educate people and share so that they can be a step higher, knowing about insurance, knowing about how to build wealth for their family? All of that is part of education that we never will get in school,
Yeah. No.
right?
And
But if you don't go to school, then you won't know what's missing,
right.
right?
Yeah.
And I think the key thing is that people go to school and they expect that to be it. They're like, oh, I wasted all this money going to college. That's because all you did was think about what you're going to get from them. What about what you bring into the table? Because when I was in school, I'm like, I need to do an internship. I need to be doing this, that, and the third, because I'm applying it right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm applying what you're teaching me so I can ask him questions. So I'm at an internship and I'm coming back to the class like, well, you said da 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 da, and I'm doing this and that didn't work. So they're like, oh, well, okay. Right? Because the schooling is not supposed to teach you everything. It's supposed to teach you how to strategize, how to think, how to plan, how to have discipline. Even if the information changes,
Right.
the tools that I had to use to get there is what is going to last me and outlast even this information. So when I grasped that, I think I was in my second year of school, maybe the beginning of my second year of my bachelor's. I was done. I was like, oh no, we got this.
Yeah.
But it's all about mindset, to your point. So yeah, a lot of what I teach is that, because there's an education that comes with unpacking the why the trauma. And I'm not saying it from a clinical standpoint because I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I understand how it can be a block.
Yes.
And I understand that there's certain mindsets like martyr syndrome or YouTube syndrome or like these different things that I talk about in the book. I'm like, these are going to hinder you.
Right. Right. Right.
Being lazy and procrastinated, that is going to hinder you.
100%.
Right? So how do you deal with it when procrastination comes? Because procrastination is it's the mental illness
Yeah.
in a way of speaking.
Yeah.
A lot of people argue and say procrastination isn't just about the action, it's about the mental stuff that's happening that causes the action. And if you're a severe procrastinator, it's likely because of something else that's bigger than that you don't know about. So it's like, how do you unpack that?
Right. Right.
I'm digging into all of it, because if I'm going to have a successful business, I need to understand me.
Yeah.
You need to understand you. What are your limitations?
Yeah.
Where do you need to delegate and not abdicate? That was one of the newest things I learned. Like, you can't abdicate. You can't sit around and want somebody to do your job and you're the entrepreneur.
At all.
You got a bookkeeper, but are they bookkeeping?
Right. Right.
Are they doing the books? Did you check?
Yeah.
Do you know how to check?
Right.
Did you have your legal status? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you have the right legal status?
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of clients that say, oh, I got my 501c3. I'm like, no, you don't.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what your paper says. Your paper says you're a foundation.
And you have just a EIN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you, as a matter of fact, it didn't get approved yet.
Right.
They denied it because you haven't submitted your taxes in 3 years. Like, these are the things we're going to learn because, again, it's about education. You may not get that in your master's program,
At all.
but you absolutely going to learn it at the Mission Rich Academy, and that's what we teach.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So where can people sign up for
on my website,
Hey,
MonroeNaylor.com, MonroeNaylor.com. And or they could just put Mission Rich and Profit Power because that's the name of my book.
yep,
And it'll bring you to my website.
gosh,
There's a lot of unpacking. I mean, I do the training work, I do coaching work, I do consulting work with people, and it's always going back to education. I want to teach you how to fish.
right,
I don't want to fish for you.
yeah.
I don't want to write your grants. I
So
want
what
to
would you
teach you
say?
how.
So what would you say like separates a real entrepreneur for someone who thinks they want to be an entrepreneur?
So I have a saying in my book called "Onepreneur."
Say that again.
Onepreneur. They're not an entrepreneur. They want to be something. And then I have one called "Am I a preneur?" Because at the end of the day, people say they're entrepreneur, but the systems are lacking, right? You don't have a bank account. Okay, that's number one. You don't have a business bank account. You're not an entrepreneur.
No.
You're hustling. We're doing something else. You got a hobby.
Yeah.
So like looking at what's the difference between a hobby and a business, first of all, is the first thing I look at. And then the second thing is it your business or are you borrowing ideas from people? Because that's what people do too, right?
Yeah.
They'll see something on YouTube. Oh, now I want to do that. Now I want to do that. Now I want to do that. And it's like,
Yeah.
have you finished any of these?
Right.
So you're not a business person. You're just an ideal person, right? You're a dreamer.
A entrepreneur.
I want you to move from dreaming to implementing. Being a visionary is not the same as a dreamer.
Yeah.
Dreamer just has all these emotion attached to it. A visionary is like, here's how it gets done.
Right.
And they do it.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It don't get no simpler than that.
I love visionaries, and that's what I work with. I work with visionaries. I help people. I have I forget what my assistant calls it, but it's like there's a qualifier. That's what she calls it. So qualifier, and people have to fill it out. And by the time they get done, they're gonna know
Yeah. Like,
if they're ready or not. And if you're not ready, I just say, okay, let's do an assessment. I'll sit down with you and tell you what you need to do to get ready.
yeah.
But you have to be ready because if you are not ready, you can't grow. You can't get a grant
Right.
and you're a hobby and you're not a business.
No, absolutely.
You just can't.
Yeah.
You can somebody on YouTube could have told you could,
Right.
but you can't.
But they didn't even tell you the
Right.
meat and potatoes of what it
Exactly.
really takes.
They're like, just get an LLC and you can get a grant. No.
Yeah, no.
They're looking at your books. They're gonna know that
You
you're
have to
real.
have that accountant. What does your taxes look like? What does
Exactly.
your transactions in your bank account look like?
Right.
Your business bank account look like?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
They're not people who have money are not playing games. They're not giving away money to people to lose. They want to invest.
yeah,
And if they can't invest, they're not messing with you.
right.
You're not worth investing, right? So this is the difference between am I a preneur, entrepreneur,
Yeah.
or entrepreneur.
Yeah. So I definitely, every time I talk to you, I'm like, oh, we got to get back together, man. And I do need to get back together because I'm still in. So my journey is my journey. So I still have that, even though I might make things look good, I still have that fill in the gap piece,
Yeah.
still missing from my business and what I need to be doing. So yeah, we're definitely gonna.
Absolutely. I would love to do an assessment and just sit down. Like I love the assessment.
Yeah, you definitely have to do an assessment back on everything that I have going on.
Yeah.
With me, I just feel like I am that dreamer, but I am also knowing that it takes these certain things to, happen. And I think one of my trauma issues is somewhat like what you had of feeling like you have to do everything yourself and not afraid, but we weren't really asking for much, especially after coming out of what we came from. Like, it's like I made it out, so I got this. We were always, I got this. So yeah, I definitely have to open my doors back up to getting things in line.
And think of it this way too. It's like we do better together, right?
Definitely.
We can build stronger when we're doing it together. And so I have a network of people that I work with. A lot of them are not local because I've been burned a lot working with people locally. So, let's just name that. I tried, but there's a number of people that still I paid for projects never got done or they try to price me out. Like they think I got more money than I do, so they want to charge me some price that's ridiculous.
Even that's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get rich where you come from, and
Oh.
people will always have this certain way of treating you and things. But
It took me going out to finally start getting the visibility because people also had me pigeonholed into one way. Like she's an educator and that's all she is. And I'm not saying that like educators aren't important, but I didn't want people to only see me as an educator. I wanted them to see me as all these other things. And they couldn't, even when I did my book, which I gotta show.
yeah, that's absolutely so. That's definitely
Oh,
so.
Mission Rich and Profit Power.
Yes,
The guide to transforming your passion into a fully funded business.
and this is my copy.
Yes, it is. I'm going to sign it.
Yes, perfect.
Enjoy it. It's great.
Oh, I am.
And I'm not just saying it's great because I think it is. Like the testimonials are really, really good.
I
Like,
already know I'm holding it, and I could
yeah.
feel it. I
It's
could feel it. I love the
powerful.
colors you chose.
Thank you.
Everything is beautiful about it. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So, a couple more questions out here. What are all your businesses?
Whew. Okay. That's good question. So I have a nonprofit I co-founded, Parent Villages, and doing great work. We're in our 7th year. Yeah, we're going into our 7th year as a corporation, but we've been around for 8 years. And we bought a building in downtown Springfield in January. We service over 700 people a year. Been doing some really great work. We have a lot of visibility online too, so we get a lot of folks that we help that way. I love it. We transform lives 2 generations at a time.
So, tell me a little bit about what Parent Village is.
So besides the transformation, that's just amazing. We focus on it mostly individuals that have been affected by violence and trauma,
Okay.
and we help them to build bridges and connections to get to where it is that they need to be. And we do that through, workshops, through whether it be groups, always food, always food. Food is always in it.
Yeah.
We do that for youth grades 6 to 12 and for adults and caregivers. We have an annual scholarship event where we give out scholarships to folks to go to college, even parents,
Okay.
to get to college. And it's really just about not just meeting a basic need, because basic needs get met, but there's this transformation that needs to happen and put them in the fellowship and just teach them how to build the skills or how to hone the skills. They already have them, but now how do you use them to get to where you need to be and not set back? And that you have a village of people that love you and support you. Like we're all in this and we all have something to contribute. It's been such a blessing to be a part of that. And then I have my consulting business, Monroe Naylor Consulting, and that's where I do the training and all the things I was talking about earlier, the keynotes, the coaching. I love to help people. I love to consult with people and bring it all to the forefront. Like, here's how you do what you need to do, or here's how you take what you have, get it out of your head, because that's usually the issue. Not that we don't know what to do.
Right.
It's in here, and we're like, I could tell everybody else how to do it,
Yeah.
but when it comes time for me to do it, I'm like, spin it.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say too is like I have appreciated the failures because these are 2 businesses that have been successful, but I've had businesses that did not work out.
Okay.
I've had tax businesses that didn't work out,
Yeah.
financial businesses, right? Nobody talks about those, the failures. But that's why I know what it takes to make it work
Right.
because I know what happened when it didn't work,
Yeah.
right? I've had nonprofits not work. Um, but these have been successful, and we've been able to put in place this system, the ABCD framework that I talk about in the book, where you learn how to be attractable. What does it mean to be attractable?
Yeah.
Not just for money, because money is always definitely in it.
Right.
A lot of the funding that we get, I don't look for. It comes to us because people say, hey, we see what you're doing.
Right.
How do we get to a place of attractability? People will say, oh, there's no money out there. Well, how do we buy our building then?
Well, with that smile, you can get anything you want. They gotta give it up. Like,
Oh, and that's the part of attractability, right? Learning
Right.
how to be somebody that's relatable,
Yeah.
authentic,
Yeah.
right? And that's why I said my next book, The Mission Rich Leader,
Yeah.
fill in the gap.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'm going to do a conference in February,
Nice.
and all of it is around this whole essence of how do you become attractable? because you're not attractable if you're mean, hateful. Like all of that has to do with your bottom line.
Yeah.
People don't understand that because they see somebody being mean.
Yes.
They think, oh, well, they're a billionaire, they're mean. They could have been a multi-billionaire if they weren't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We wouldn't have people hating them trying to tear down their empire if they weren't so mean, you know? So it's these kind of
I'll
things.
tell you a story about that when we get off.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because I do have something I wanted to bring to your attention, and it's not about me or you, but someone else and their attractability and what happened. So I want to get your input on it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to learn.
Yeah.
And so those are two of my businesses that I have. And then my husband has a church, so we do that. So that's another nonprofit that I co-lead. And then I have my other stuff, my community engagement activities. But two of my kids are entrepreneurs. One has a nail business.
Yep. Saw that.
About to get my touch up tomorrow. One does hair, makeup. And so I'm just supporting their journey as entrepreneurs as well. My husband's an entrepreneur. He's a barber. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Bless.
because I'm the mom. No,
Yeah. So I was gonna tell you, you've been having parent villages since you were 10 years old. So you've been the parent village ever since then. The name just came, so much.
Yeah.
She's been that. Yeah.
I love it. It's all about community, and I love to help people. And it's funny, I remember not being a people person, but being through what I've been through and getting on the other side of it, I'm like, I want people to experience the peace and the joy that I experience, because there is another way, you know? So thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. You know, we had to reschedule a couple of times, but we made it happen.
We did.
And we're gonna double back. Make sure you guys go grab her book. I can't wait to dig in.
It's on all platforms.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. But if you want a signed copy, you need to come to my website and order it from me directly, and I'll send you a signed copy.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. And it has a workbook that accompanies it as well.
Oh, nice.
If people want the workbook, it is like, again, I'm an educator. So I'm like, look, you can pay the money to come into my programs, or you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to give you the tools.
Yeah.
And if
You're gonna need both. Because as you heard, if you watch the whole interview, and you know you're gonna need both from her.
Yes.
Filling the gap.
Yes.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I was thinking about my conference title.
There it is.
Is all
That's
of
a
it.
whole run. That's a whole campaign.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to see
I'm
it.
ready, because this is what it's about. Yeah, you're right. We can go on forever. This is a family affair.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a blessing to see you again, and blessing to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I know we do this all the time. We're gonna start getting together on things, but we
Yeah.
definitely are, and I appreciate you. It's another episode of Off the Clock Podcast. We are tapped in. Peace.